Deuteronomy chapter 28. I just want to touch that part on to show you that Jesus talked about this too. Deuteronomy 28, you're going to start with verse 65. I'll show you some real quick. Go ahead.
And among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
You will never find ease amongst these people. Never. Never. Never find ease amongst these people. We in the land of our captives right here. Have been all the way back in the days when they took down Solomon's temple in 7 AD. Been there. You don't find no ease. Go ahead.
And thy life shall hang in the doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life.
You understand that? I don't understand why people celebrate the 4th of July. I just really don't understand, especially our people, Israel. Because on the 4th of July, America received their independence in 1776. This is when they were birthed as a nation. But they still had slaves then. We didn't get freedom until 1865, 100 years later, if you call it that. Frederick Douglass did a speech before Congress. He said they wanted him to come up and speak because he's a very intelligent Israelite. And he went up and speak. He said, look, this is y'all independence. My people in their quarters fearing for their life. Because they know when these fireworks go off, it sounds like a gunshot. They know what y'all about to do. We about to go have some fun with these Negroes. When they say picnic, they pick a nigga and they go lynch him and have fun with him. Kill him. Castrate him. All for fun. It's like a movie to them. But you don't know that because you ain't been reading no history. I won't tell nobody I'm going on a picnic because I know what picnic means. Go ahead, brother.
In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were evening,
Yes,
and
sir.
at evening thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
He said he wanted to be morning. When the morning got there, he wanted to be evening. Meaning that he didn't have no rest, morning or evening. You're like, maybe the sun go down there and calm down. No, they gonna calm down because they gonna come get your daughter and rape her. They gonna come get your son and rape him too. They do all this stuff. It's documented history. They're gonna have some fun with your family members. Why? Because they treat you like an animal. It's still on the books today that we 1/8 of a man. Still on the books. Go ahead, brother.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships,
Yes, sir.
by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen, and no man shall buy you.
See, I want y'all to, a lot of people go here and read this thing when they say the Lord shall bring you to Egypt again with ships. That's just telling you, Egypt is, metaphorically speaking, talking about bondage.
Exactly.
Bondage and slavery. And I want to show y'all on the map right here how far Egypt is from Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Egypt. When we came out of Pharaoh's house, we went into Jerusalem. It wasn't but a day's journey. But because Israel was acting up so bad and sinning, it took them 40 years. They wandered around in the desert. It was just that close. When God said, I'm going to bring you again to Egypt again with ships, he's talking about these slave ships he's going to bring you up in. And you're going to be in bondage. You're going to be in bondage. Read that again.
68.
68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen, and no man shall buy you.
What do you mean, bondsmen and bondswomen? Slave. You got it. He's telling you right here. It's a flyer. that was put out when slaves were coming to town. It's a valuable game of young Negroes by Josh Beard. Will be sold at an auction on Wednesday, the 25th, at 12 o'clock. 17 valuable young Negroes, men and women, field hands, sold for no fault, with the best guarantee. Yeah, best city guarantee. They're gonna sell you. This is the price they put on our head. The scriptures don't lie, because this came about already. Auction blocks. This is what happened. And when he says about being sold to these lands, I want to just show you the map of this. This is the transatlantic slave trade. Now we come from all the way over here on this part, this right here where Jerusalem is. And this transatlantic slave trade went all around the world. He said, you shall be scattered amongst all these nations from South America, North America, which is the United States. All these nations had you. Look at this. 0.3 million, 0.5 million, 0.4 million, 2.2 million, 0.5 million. All these nations had you, had us, our ancestors. This is the transatlantic slave trade. This is documented history. All over the world. When the book says, read 64 again right here, look what it say right here, verse 64. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
This is what he's talking about, the transatlantic slave trade. We talking about that lasted probably 100 years right here going on. They said over 1 million Jews or 1 million Israelites died in the war. They didn't even make it. They were transporting us like a boatload out. They were transporting us out left and right, selling us for money. We were merchandise. Merchandise. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20. I want to read something to you about this word Egypt, so you understand that it's talking about bondage. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. Egypt just means bondage or slavery. God uses this word, Egypt, as a metaphor for slavery or bondage. When you get it, brother, go ahead. Verse 1.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt
have brought you out of where? The land of Egypt and the house of bondage. So when you read Deuteronomy chapter 28, he's telling you that he's going to take you into Egypt. It's just talking about bondage. It's just talking about bondage. And he was telling us, he gave Israel the Ten Commandments right now. So they can learn how to do them, and most of all, make sure they teach it to their kids. This is what we ain't doing today. That's why we're going through this. Let's keep moving. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 51. Let me show you another one. Got 2 more after this when we be done. No, 4 more, excuse me. I want to make sure y'all understand. Because I know how it was when I was looking and searching. These preachers talking about all this other crazy stuff, and this stuff ain't written in the Bible. It make no sense to me. I said, I know there's somebody out here who understands the Bible. And the Bible was written to who? The Israelites, us. It's written to us only. But if the other nation come amongst us, it can be spiritual Israel. Spiritual Israel. Israel ain't gonna be at the top once Jesus come back. Don't worry. Just take your pain. Take your pain. Take your medicine. This is another sign that who the Israelites are right here. Isaiah chapter 51, we'll start at verse 17. Go ahead.
Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken Thou hast drunken this dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out.
He telling Jerusalem, awake. You have drinking of the dregs, meaning that the thing he told you not to do, you did it. Now you the wrong him. And when you wrong him, he gonna magnify his law. He gonna punish you. He gonna punish us. I'm just talking about us. He gonna punish all of who Israelites. Well, listen what he said right here. Go ahead.
There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she has brought forth. Neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she has brought up.
What are you talking about? There ain't nobody to guide us today about this word. You really got to be searching this. Like I was searching for this, I found somebody. But in my town, in Albany, or where I'm from, don't nobody know about this. I tell y'all, count yourself fortunate to have found this. You don't hear nobody around our area talking about this. Because he said right here that he haven't found a guide. Nobody to guide the sons and daughters at all. He said, there is, verse 18, there is none to guide her among all the sons who she hath brought forth. Ain't got no leaders. Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, and all them folk, they failed us. Why? Because they didn't teach us who we are in the scripture. And they supposed to be the preachers.
Exactly.
They supposed to be the preachers. They ain't taught us about this at all. I ain't heard no speeches. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 19. These two things have come upon thee, who shall be sorrow for thee.
Yes, sir.
Desolation and destruction, and the famine, and the sword, by whom shall I comfort thee?
He said, these two things gonna come up on your sons right here. This is how you gonna know who they are. And believe me, this is real. I mean, you can't miss this at all. Ray Charles can miss this. Go ahead.
Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
Who on the street corners? Who on the street corners? Wait till we get hot. We on that all night long. Just give me a vision. Selling dope, just out there hanging out, messing up stuff. Go ahead, continue. I'm gonna show you something right here.
Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus says,
He said, y'all afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Meaning that it ain't alcohol that making you do these terrible and evil things. It's not at all. It's not alcohol. It's something else. It's what God told you in Deuteronomy chapter 28. This is what's going to happen to you. Go ahead.
Thus says the Lord, thus says the Lord and thy God that pleaded the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee.
Yes, sir.
Which have said to thy soul, bow down.
He said, I'm going to put it in the hands of who? That afflict you. Who going to afflict us today? Who have been afflicted us today?
Gentile.
And the police. Gentile. This right here, I want to give you a visual. Black boy getting arrested right here. He probably ain't getting much. But hanging out, doing a little something, but the thing is, he's going to put you in the hands of the one that's supposed to afflict you. And those are the ones that run the world, the Gentile, or the so-called white people. Go ahead.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over.
What the police tell you when they arrest you? Get on the ground.
That's right.
Get on the ground. Put your hand behind your head. Bow down. Get down. It's Bible for real, y'all. It's for real. I'm telling you, this is the reason why our brothers and sisters are afflicted. And we know who afflicting us, but we know the reason why they're afflicting us. Because we're breaking these laws. Affliction. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 42, same book, and verse 21. This is another sign right here. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 21. Because God gonna magnify his law. He gonna make sure his law is carried out. Either you do it or he gonna use an evil person to do it. And you see the evilness he using today. You see it. If you ain't see it, you must be blind or something. I see my brother on the news every day getting locked up, getting shot, getting killed. I see them all the time. Let's look at another sign of who is Israel, the identity. Isaiah chapter 42, verse 21. Go ahead.
The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake.
Yes, sir.
He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
See what he said? He said, he well pleased. I'm going to magnify my law. What I read in the book of Moses, it's going to come to pass. Whether you believe it or not, whether anybody believe it or not, it's going to come to pass. The Israelites, I'm going to take them down. I'm going to put them somewhere. Go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
Wait a minute, they snared in holes and traps. They trapping you. Go ahead.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Hid where? Prison. Who is this? Hid. Go to your jails and see how many Israelites in there, how many black folks in there compared to white people. We outpopulate them 2 and 3 times. Go ahead, brother.
They are for prey, none delivereth, for spoil, and none says restore.
Therefore, pray. Remember the lady went to jail for stealing a color TV. They gave her 30 years. Color TV. This black boy killed a police dog. They gave him 23 years. A dog. A dog, police dog. Israel. That's the curses that God put on her 7 times more than other nations. It's just that you got to make sure you're looking in the right places. Most people just see this stuff and they say, oh, well, they're doing it wrong. But it's lined up in Bible prophecy all day. Go ahead.
Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and fear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers?
Let's see who did it. Go ahead.
Did not the Lord?
Who? Who did this to us? God. Why? Because he said, I'm going to magnify my law. Meaning, I'm going to make sure it carried out. So if you get mad at me, you get mad at God. Go ahead.
He against whom we sin, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
I'm telling you the law. That's why they put you in jail. That's what it said right here. It said, more black men are behind bars or under the watch of criminal justice system than there were enslaved in 1850. So you got more black people in jail today than they was in slavery back then in 1850. That's true. That's truthful. Go ahead. We at 25?
Yes, sir, we have 25.
Okay. Go ahead.
Therefore, he has poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle. And it has set him on fire round about, yet he knew not. And it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
Don't even lay it to heart. They don't even want to know why these people are killing us. Don't even know. All they can say really, oh, we black. They doing it to the black man, trying to hold the black man down. Get in this book and understand why they are doing this to the black man. Why they doing this to the Israelite? Why? We know this. Let's keep moving. We understand. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9 and verse 9. Last two chapters. Just making sure y'all understand. Don't walk out here dumbing in when you walk in. Oh, that's how I was, bro. When I first started studying with the Hebrew, I was like, man, that's a lot of information to process. Woo, that was a lot of information to process. Telling you, it took some time for me to get this thing, and I ain't got it all the way right. I'm trying. Let's look at this. Daniel chapter 9, verse 9. No other people has went through this. No other people. Only us. These curses fit us only. Only. Let's go ahead. Verse 9. Go ahead.
To the Lord our God belong his mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in his laws, which he has set before us by his servant the prophets.
See what he said? Have rebelled. We have rebelled. Didn't want to walk into them. You know how you tell people don't eat that pork. What you is, a Muslim? What make you so self-righteous? No, it's what God told me in Leviticus chapter 11 and Isaiah chapter 66. He don't kill them pork eaters. That's the reason why. I can sit up here and read this to you, but until you get it in your mind to understand this, you won't grasp it at all. You won't grasp it. It's got to be about you and God. And most of all, he got to open your mind up so you can hear this. So don't play with him. Get into it. Listen what he said right here. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
How many?
All.
All Israel have transgressed his law. That don't leave nobody out. We transgress it today, but we have an advocate with the Father, which is Jesus. That's the only way we're going to get out of here, y'all. That's the only way we can get our sin forgiven, is by Jesus' blood only. Only. Go ahead.
Even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
The curse is poured upon us. Go ahead.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
See what it said? The oath that the written law of Moses, that's why we started in Deuteronomy chapter 28, so y'all can know for yourself about these curses. So you can know them. And listen what he said here.
Verse 20.
Uh-huh.
And he has confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us.
Yes, sir.
By bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem.
Ain't nobody went through what we went through. It's 400 years worth of slavery on both sides, meaning in Egypt and another 100 years over here in America. This thing right here just big with a, nobody went through this at all. Babies being sold, men being castrated, babies being raped, women being raped, all this stuff went through one nation, us. Black men tarred and feathered, tied between two horses, pulled apart. This stuff is documented in Willie Lynch's story.
Right.
This is what they did to them. That's what he said. No other nation had this ever, nobody ever went through this. Nobody. That means that nobody can take the credit for this at all. Nobody. But us. Go ahead.
13. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth.
See what I'm saying? They ain't even thought about pray to your God. So you can turn, so you can understand what you're supposed to be doing. Israel don't think about that. Only thing Israel think about today is, I hope my stamp's there. I hope my staff there. I hope the Section 8 housing ain't gonna go away. You depending on that instead of depending on the God of Israel. That's how most people say. That's what most people think about. That's it. You take that stuff away from them. Ain't nothing wrong with that if you need it. But don't make that your God.
Come on.
Don't make it your God. And most people make it their God. God's listening, but I got all this stuff. When it's taken away from most people, God cursed me. We must have turned it back. I gotta go ahead and do my thing. I gotta make it happen. I gotta sit on this block. I gotta do it. I gotta feed the block, and the block won't feed me. If you know what I'm talking about. And that's what they do. And it happens. Drugs, prostitution, all of it. You can find, that's what he said, Israel is on every corner. like a wild bull in the net. It lines up everything. Go ahead, brother.
14. Therefore has the Lord watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works, which he doeth, for we obeyed not his voice.
So, Lord, you telling me that righteous what these folk did to us? These white folk castrated our men, did all this stuff to our people? Yes, it's righteous because he told that he was going to do the right thing to you and also the wrong thing. We signed a contract. What did Israel say? When they crucified Jesus, he said, let the sins follow us and our children's children. They put it on our children. They put it on us. We're in a covenant with him. This is what they said, our ancestors. So you want to blame somebody, you blame them. We were born in this. And once of all, God said, I'm going to make sure I carry this out. Go ahead.
And now, O Lord our God, that has brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt
Yes,
with
sir.
a mighty hand, and has got thee renowned, as at this day we have sinned, we have done wickedly.
Yes, sir.
O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city, Jerusalem, thy holy mountain, because our sins and for the iniquity of our fathers, Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us.
See, this was a petition to God. He praying to the land, praying to God. Get this off of us. Be a little sanctuary to us. This is what we're trying to get to. Being a little sanctuary so he can protect us in our enemy's land. That's why we're going through this as a nation. Last chapter, Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 2. But Israel don't care. As long as they're very full, they're good. But we ain't good tonight. They ain't worried about tomorrow. They ain't even worried about their kids. I'll be a bad father if I don't take care of my kids the way I'm supposed to take care of them in this Bible. Or a bad husband. We all got to do it righteously. To see the end of the tunnel, light at the end of the tunnel, which is Jesus. But Israel don't care. They think about something else. Think about football game, basketball game. How can I look good in front of these hoes? That's it. Just wake you up. Isaiah chapter 1, and verse 2. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord has spoken. I have nursed and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me.
He said, here. He called them the heavens. Called them the earth. Everybody here. He said, I brought up children. He chose his nation to bring Jesus to it. It wasn't because we were bigger. He found one man that was Abraham. He said, I'm going to make you